Camera's turning, sound's running. Show personality. Welcome to A Social Place, a new podcast from Ammolite Studios and Emil Nava, which is me. We create everything from music videos to fashion campaigns to commercials to live shows. And we wanted to start this podcast so we could open up the conversation about how we do it and who we do it with. I wanted to bring together people that are around me that I think are amazing and have so much to say and want to create a space where we can come on and talk about all things creative. Welcome to A Social Place.
It's a social place, oh yeah, it's a social place. A social place. We're live.
The sounds. It's very calming, actually. That is good.
I'm trying to do that. I'm accessing my most peaceful, mentally healthy chords.
I agree. I think the more we can emit good vibes to the world, just pure good vibes.
We're sending them out.
We're sending them out. Here we are. Alex, play us in, baby. Play us in. A Social Place with my musical co-host, Alex Russick.
Hey.
Providing us with the good sounds. What did I do this morning? What did I do this morning? You know what I did this morning, Alex? I went in the ocean.
Oh boy, is it cold this time of year?
It's freezing. I've actually had 2 animal experiences in the last 2 months in the ocean. So
oh boy.
The first one is I went in the ocean. I was like, my foot, and I thought it was like a crab or something. And I came out, and it was starting to get more and more painful. I got to the pavement, and I was gushing blood.
Jellyfish?
And this guy walks past. He's like, "You've been hit by a stingray, mate." I'm like, "A stingray?"
Whoa.
I was like, "What?" And then basically my foot started to get so painful, and I got to the lifeguard's tower. He's like, "Yeah, you've been hit by a stingray," and I was like, It was so painful. When he's like, later he told me that the pain is the same as being shot in the foot, apparently. So anyway, so I got hit by a stingray.
Whoa.
And then a few days ago, I was out swimming early morning on my own, kind of just waking up, doing my cold thing. And this sea lion starts heading towards me.
Well, that's kind of fun, though.
I don't know. I think they can be actually quite dangerous.
Oh, really? I just view it as a dog in the water.
What's your morning ritual?
Well, my morning ritual, usually I get up, I smoke a ton of pot.
And then comes to work.
And then I drink a giant cold brew, and then it's about 8 o'clock. And then I start working for you, man. Then I start editing away, and I swear, I'm not done till usually at 11 p.m., and I just do it again and do it again. That's my life. No, but really, I do. My walk time is usually in the evening because I live in the desert.
Yeah.
So around, 7 o'clock, it starts to get, hospitable again. So I go to the park, and that's sort of when I have my, real decompress.
Your clear time.
Yeah, I'll meditate under a tree.
Yeah, I believe in that a lot. I mean, I'm not I got very into TM meditation.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to keep up. But it is amazing when you do it.
Years ago, when I was much less happy, I did it a lot. Like, I got really into it, not the TM, but the Zen sort of Buddhist version of it. And there was a little period of time, maybe 8 months or so, where I was doing it for multiple hours a day.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe 2 hours a day, like an hour in the morning, an hour at night.
I did hear that when people are going through struggles mentally and they take on meditation, that, the hope is it's going to fix you, change you, sort of help you. So I think that some people can do that, right? They do a lot of it and then they realize it's not really working because there's other issues. Yeah,
it's not a catch-all, but the thing that it really did for me was I felt like it expanded my metacognition, which is sort of your own awareness of your thinking,
Yeah.
So you can sort of see more clearly, like, oh, this emotion and my state are not the same thing. Like, I could separate myself from this and see it as it's for what it is, you know what I mean? My body's response to stress in my life.
I remember them, when I was learning it, them saying, thoughts are like trains, you know, and you got to kind of let those see the train. Take
and get off the tracks, baby.
Yeah, just let it go past. It's funny, actually, you say the way it kind of retrains your brain, because I've been having this thing recently where I've been doing hot yoga, and I've been doing the breathing, the heavy breathing, and then I did this kind of big group meditation. I did this big heavy breathing, and then I went for a run the other night, and I was, because I think I was breathing so kind of regulated, I was doing these hills and these steps, and I felt like I was running like I'd never run before.
Wow.
And not because I was fitter, but because I was just like regulating and not getting in that kind of panicky running
so
mode.
much of it. So many elite athletes do like breathing training like that. You know, a lot of them do it in water and everything because of that.
Well, sorry, we got sidetracked there.
We got a little too zen.
Yeah, but welcome. A social place.
Yeah.
So, today, first up, call sheet. My favourite segment. The main segment. Today we have on the show Seth Levin. What a man. Seth Levin has been producing for me and Ammolite for the past, dare I say, 7 or 8 years. Started producing with me at Ammolite, and then has gone on to produce for many of our other directors, photo shoots, content shoots. He is a solid member of the Ammolite collective. Play Seth in. Let's play Seth in. Seth, let's welcome Seth. Sethy! I like to call him Sethy. I don't know if he likes it, but... Here he is! The man, the myth, the legend. For anyone that knows Seth Levin, he is a great...
Clear my throat.
Clear your throat. Seth and Alex know each other very well.
Seth.
They have been in the thick of it. Welcome, Seth.
Good to be here.
How you feeling?
I feel good.
Where you been? I haven't seen Seth for a long time. Where you been?
I had a long drive from Beverly Hills this morning. About an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes.
Welcome here.
Oh, here, yes. Lovely Newport Beach in the studio. Yeah, it's awesome.
Me and Seth always joke that I feel like he cheats on me when he works with other directors. Have you been cheating on me?
I haven't been cheating. I'm just, looking at a couple projects, same as you. Hopefully, I'll be working with you next.
Yeah, we got a few things bubbling.
I think I've been called for a couple things, some boards.
So, Seth, we wanted to bring you on because obviously we're creating a podcast and we're talking about creating stuff. And you create a lot with us. But we want to hear a little bit about your background, Seth.
Born and raised in Seattle.
Yeah.
4 years at the University of Denver, and the day after I graduated from college, packed up everything I could in my little Honda Civic and drove to Los Angeles, crashed on my brother's couch for about a week, and then got my own pad.
Tell us how you got into the industry, into the game.
So when I came out here, there's, if you're willing to work for nothing and eat ramen for a couple weeks, there's a lot of opportunities. You can intern, read scripts for free. There's a lot of things you can do for free. I kind of got together a resume of just a few things I kind of made up a few things I did in film production.
What did you say?
I said I was a production assistant on a bunch of crap in Seattle that I never did. So I threw on a college shirt and went to a bunch of companies that were executive producers of television commercials and music videos, and just kind of introduced myself. Went right up to the secretary or who was ever at the reception and just said, "Hey, I know that production managers and producers and coordinators, they hire production assistants. That's the gig that I kind of want. Can you drop off my resume or can I have a quick minute with them?" And that's it. It was a numbers game. I just went to about 30 or 40, in the first day and 30 or 40 in the second day. And a couple people called back and just kind of generated my own work in the film production world of production assistant. Once you do a good job on that first gig, a couple people are always going to notice you and you have a call sheet. You can make some calls and you can generate your own work in film production pretty easy. And so that's essentially what I did. That was 25 years ago.
What was the first project you did where you were like, oh, I'm in the game now?
It was at Crossroads. It was Disneyland, and I was I had no idea what to do. Like I said, I had made up a resume, so I threw on. I think I had like Sperry topsiders on, like a nice collared shirt. I think I was like dressed like really nicely, and literally they had me like running around Disneyland, like getting lattes for the director. I should have had tennis shoes on and probably something a little bit more practical. Then you live and you learn, and that was it. I did that first Disneyland gig with Crossroads, and then I think I caught on with another producer, and I did a couple other jobs at a company called Dark Light, and just kind of branched out because every job has 3 or 4 people that can hire production assistants, and next thing you know, there was a few people who brought me onto jobs, and then other people would bring you in from that job onto another job, and you just kind of branch out that way. It's easy at the lowest level because you don't really make a whole lot of money, and everyone needs 6 or 7 production assistants on any one of our jobs.
For people who are listening who are trying to get into it, like, what do you think set you aside? Because you say it's easy, but I don't. We've worked together where we say like that PA's not very good, or that
right.
like we've seen people that don't get the next job, right? We all the time discuss who was amazing on the shoot and who wasn't. So like, what do you think?
Right.
That's made you stand out and get another job?
You got to be alert. You're on set and there's 5 or 6 of you. If it's a little bit bigger, there could be 8 or 9 of you. And by being alert, you just want to keep your eyes open of what holes are you going to plug. If there's trash all over the ground, if you proactively are like cleaning that up, if all of a sudden you see that there's a bunch of people that have walkie-talkies on, you proactively go to where the walkie-talkies are being dispersed and say, hey, I need to get one for the camera department and one for the precision driver, or whatever role needs one, and you're proactively doing this stuff. People are going to notice. The people that hire production assistants and hire that next level of production assistants, they're going to notice those are helping out and how and what departments are helping out. A lot of times you'll just stick them with anything. Art department, hey, this guy, he can help lug this furniture around. You'll just kind of stick a production assistant there, depending. The main thing is, you hurry up on set. You have 12 hours to do a shoot, and that's why you need production assistants. They're invaluable in terms of just stick them there. And the ones that work hard when they're stuck in any department, they're going to work.
It's funny.
People notice.
You call them production assistants, and in England we call them runners.
Yeah, look, but they're doing a lot more than running.
Yeah,
they're doing a lot more than picking up
I always
coffee.
used to say that when I was a runner, I used to stand, and I always used to stand like with my hands behind my back, alert, like you say, because I remember thinking, if you look like you're ready to pounce and you're in it, because I would see other runners and they'd be like by the coffee area or like kind of hiding in the back, or like I think you got to be like exactly like you say. If you're not seen to be working hard, I feel like you won't get the next job ultimately, right?
Correct. If you turn around, if a director turns around, he sees a production assistant is not breathing down his neck, is not looking at the next shot, but just looking to say, hey, do you need something? He's going to appreciate that. He might turn around and say, yeah, I need a shot of espresso right now.
Yeah, so Seth, for the listeners and watchers who don't know, what is a producer?
In my world, a producer is kind of in the middle of a few things to make sure everyone's happy. One is the director. You got to make sure that he gets everything he needs or she gets everything she needs. And her vision can constantly change. So you have to just be willing to adapt and change and say, okay, let's work on how we can make your vision come through. The next is the client or a record label or advertising agency, whoever is that kind of liaison, that middle person of the creative content. You got to make sure that they're getting what they need as well, and that could be the artist's vision relayed through the management, saying, yes, we like that or more of that, or can we do less of that on set, or how can we do this? And we'll talk about the leading up. And the third is the production company, Ammolite. In your case, let's make sure that this is a business and they need to make their markup and they need to make sure that their reputation is solid and in line. There's a lot of things that relate to that as well. There's a lot of boxes that you have to check to make sure that they're covered. And you're kind of in the middle, and you kind of want to favor maybe the director first, especially if the director owns a company such as yourself. I mean, but at the same time, you have to sometimes play devil's advocate.
Tell me what the hardest thing about working with me is.
Well, you have a
me personally,
but you constantly
we do a lot.
You constantly fine tune your creative vision, and so you might not know.
Changing my mind, you mean?
Well, I mean that's part of it. You have to adapt as a producer. You can't just stamp your feet down and be like, that's not what's in the bid, and we can't do that. I'm supposed to find a way to make it happen for you. Okay, fine. You change your mind. You want a helicopter now. Okay. I'm going to find you a way to get a helicopter, but it's going to cost you. It might cost you a second unit camera.
That's your premium line. It's going to cost you.
It's going to cost you, but I'll tell you how you can get there. If you need to get there, if you change your mind and say, hey, I need to make this happen like this. And I remember there was a set that we did for for Ed Sheeran and Eminem where you had a certain set in London and you needed to match that set in America, and it wasn't just give me any set. It started out as give me any set, and then it's like no, I need to streamline.
Yeah, I forgot that one. That was that was Eminem and Ed Sheeran, wasn't it? And we River, and we shot Ed Sheeran in London in a room that we kind of exploded, and then I remember I came back to LA and I had to shoot Eminem in LA.
And you said you're not going to be happy about you said you're not going to be happy about this, but we need to kind of match this room. And it was an expensive room. It was a very stylized room. And so we didn't have quite enough money for it. So you have to rob from Peter and pay Paul and give the person making those decisions and vision the options. Hey, we can get you the same room, but we might not be able to afford this and this.
Alex, how do you think it sounds when me and Seth are having a disagreement about the size of the set? me and Seth have got into it many times, haven't we, Seth? What videos? So just go through the videos we've done together.
Oh, okay. Let's start from the back.
Yeah, because
so we did "I Need Your Love" with Calvin Harris and Ellie Goulding. We did "Moxie," Buffalo Bill.
It's very true.
Then we did Priyanka and Pitbull.
Very true.
Called Exotic. Calvin Harris Summer. After that, we did Ellie Goulding Army. I believe we did Calvin Harris My Way. Sophia Carson and Louisa Johnson. Visuals for Feels, Calvin Harris Feels. We did Charlie Puth. We did Attention, which has like 1.2 billion hits. That was a big one.
That was a big one.
Pretty Much. Simon Cowell's teen band. Yeah. Pretty Much for a little bit. Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran, I Don't Care.
Yes.
But we also did around that time Sheeran and Eminem for River.
What a journey.
Yeah, what a journey.
Go on. Keep going. Keep going.
So we did some commercials about them. We did Rocket Mortgage with Ricky Fowler.
Wow, yeah.
We've done Mercedes together. We did more Ellie Goulding. We did Zara. Started working with Charm LaDonna, who's one of your top directors now. I mean, she's crushing it.
Shout out Charm LaDonna. Tell us about the first time we worked together. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we were matched up. You were coming in from London to Miami.
It was Calvin Harris, Ellie Goulding.
Yeah,
right?
I Need Your Love. Yeah. We didn't have much money. It seemed like we were poor at the time, right? It seemed the beginning. It was the beginning. We were poor, but it was only comparatively because hotel rooms were $1,000 a night. It was during Art Basel or Ultra
Festival. Yeah, I remember.
Rooms were so expensive. We appeared poor, but we actually had
you put us in the most rancid hotel. I remember.
Available.
Thinking, okay, this is it. I think I'm kind of feeling like I've made it going to Miami on a big video, but no, humbled. I think that's one thing that my friends will always say, and I'm sure yours do too, is like they think that the music video world is like glossy, it's like, oh, you're staying, and it can be, yes, if you're on certain projects, but I think a lot of the time, you're in a warehouse, you're on the street, you're run and gun, you're in the desert. It's like it's actually not that glamorous.
We're creating the illusion that it's glamorous. That's what we do well.
What do you think the most fun we've had on a video has been?
I think where we've had most fun is where it's been a cut and dry easy job for me. That's where I've had most fun.
Seth likes it easy.
I'll tell. We just did. A great example is we nailed every facet on Black Bear. We just shot with Black Bear and Travis Barker.
Yeah.
And I think right off the bat, you gave me your initial vision, and I looked for your initial vision. I was like, there's a little bit in this. There's a little bit in this location. And those were from the location libraries. And then I did more research. And all of a sudden, I found like a complex. It was like a post-apocalyptic complex with like all these crazy buildings. It was a perfect thing. And you agree is perfect. And literally, we went out there that day. We nailed it. It had everything we needed.
It was smooth, that one. I do think that when you're in one location, we
had a lot to shoot.
Easier to manage and move around.
We had exterior shots. We stole the shot. We had unpermitted steal, so that it was doable. It was out that there was just a lot going right in that.
And Alex actually edited it.
I cut that one too, and I will say that was a really smooth edit. Also, like everything in it was like,
a smooth edit.
It was like this is where it's supposed to go.
We got all the footage. I remember thinking, it's like we had the performance, we had the slow mo, we had the narrative, we had the characters. It's like sometimes.
Let's not forget a great song. Great performance,
great song.
Great. We had cast a full family. They were fantastic.
Yeah, Travis Barker was amazing. Yeah, that was a great one.
To me, that's the best part. It's not like the coolest place I've been to. It's not like that. But everything went so smooth and by the book.
Very
and you were happy.
cinematic, too.
It was very
cinematic. Yeah, it's great. Just everything. It had a full story.
We stayed on schedule, which obviously keeps everyone calm. I mean, that was a good one, yeah.
Whereas you imagine, or the common person will imagine, they're like, oh, wow, you shot with Timberlake and Halsey and Pharrell in Miami. It looks like palm trees. I'm like, it was tough. Even though we're on stage, it was a complex build that had very little time and stress, and there's a lot of things that go into that. And then we had to procure the place with the palm tree lined street,
was not easy. That's a good story because no one thought we were going to get that in it. I remember. No. So it was to set it up. It was Calvin Harris, Halsey, Pharrell, Justin Timberlake. One video, one song, one day in Miami. Build a huge set. Basically shoot the set out and then get out to the street for sunset, right?
Kind of like 4 sets, though. So you had to really nail the timing.
It was 4
we had
sets,
to nail the timing within certain things. So it was stressful to get there.
And I remember at lunchtime, everyone around the table being like, we should drop the outside shot. We shouldn't get the sunset. Correct. One thing I was like, we're going for it. We're getting the sunset, and you backed me up, and you knew. I think Seth worked with me long enough to know that I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it.
Second half kid.
Oh, okay. Come on, we're on to. Let's keep it moving, Alex. Come on, give me some love on the keys.
That I think I've recognized a little bit more, like Captain Tennille. Where is this?
All right,
little Steely Dan, maybe.
How about
Dan?
Oh yeah. How about this one?
Driving on Sunset.
Tell us about when you worked on the 50 Cent in the Club music video.
Oh, you know about that. That was back. I think it was 2002. At that time, I was a production manager and just starting to produce little things. Like, I didn't know what I was walking into. It was a full replacement job, and when I walked in, I saw 100 extras and club scene. They had a science lab built. They had all these different sets. They had like a workout room. There was like a little workout motorhome just with equipment just to work out. I remember it started getting crazy, I believe, when 3 extras were sent to wardrobe. And I believe they walked into the wrong motorhome, and a little fight broke out in which they got... I think they got pretty beat up. So that was a little precursor to a little bit later, which was, it was a long day. I think it was like maybe a 14, 16-hour day on set. And you have, after 12 hours, you have what's called the second meal. So we broke for second meal for half an hour. When we came back in, 10 minutes later, wasn't much time, 15 minutes later, everyone was kind of staggered, went in and out at the, different times. There was Dr. Dre's bodyguard, and he was sweating. And he said, who let Suge Knight on stage? And this is right after Suge, had some issues. If anyone saw Straight Outta Compton, he went to prison a little bit. Around the time, there was some Death Row Records, Interscope. There was that kind of that thing going on. So he had just gotten out maybe a few months earlier, and he had somehow made it to stage, on Dr. Dre's stage. This is 50 Cent. Dr. Dre was there, Eminem was there, and there was riff. Anyone who knows the backstory, Straight Outta Compton will give you a little insight on the backstory of the riff. This is not a guy that maybe you wanted coming by the film set on this day in a 15-passenger van loaded with, I believe, his good associates and friends. So you have 15 large gentlemen that have made it to this massive complex, Ammolite Studios in Manhattan Beach. The cops came within 3-5 minutes. I mean, we called them, and they were there within minutes, and that 15-passenger van, took off.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Seth Levin, it has been a pleasure. As always. Seth is a dear friend and amazing collaborator.
Let's play some
Ammolite
golf.
Studios. Yes, golf. Me and Seth play a lot of golf. Alex Rustic, play us out. So moving on to listeners' messages. I love this section because it's the unknown. I have genuinely never heard these. So here we go, and I'll answer them.
Hey, Emil, a question I have for you about directing is when you're shooting a music video, how much collaboration goes in with the artist? Is it a sort of back and forth conversation, or are you really creating your own vision and executing with them? Thanks.
For me, when I'm creating with artists, sometimes the artist has a very clear idea of what they want. And they want me to kind of interpret it. Sometimes they have a brief where they say, this is kind of what I want, and then I have to come up with an idea. And sometimes there's no brief, you just get the song. Like when I got the brief for Post Malone's Rockstar, it was that Post wanted to be with a sword. A big, an amazing samurai sword, and he had these amazing references, and that was so great as a jumping off point to then kind of develop into what, ended up being the final piece. Okay, number 2.
Hi, Emil. My question for you is, what made you want to start your own company?
Ooh, what made me want to start my own company? Yeah, I think ultimately it started with a want for me to kind of create with people I really loved. I wanted to create a company in a place where we were creating things, and it was with people I really enjoyed spending time with. I think that this industry is so intense and so stressful, and I think that the more we can enjoy it, the better. I've made 160 music videos. I think I've really outputted a lot of what I believe, and now what I really enjoy is seeing others output what they believe. And I'm such a big believer that this industry is such a closed door, and I feel that inviting new and eclectic voices into this industry is key, and I really, really believe that. So the reason I started a company was to surround myself with amazing people to help facilitate my work. And now I think what it's grown into is an amazing group of people that we're all a part of helping each other facilitate their own work. And, that for me is what I get really excited about now, seeing other people's vision come to life. All right, I think that was our final question. That is wrapping up questions from the listeners. Connect us, Alex Rustic.
How are you?
Top 5 of the week. First up, cold plunges. I've been getting in the ocean this week. Obviously, I can't do that every week, it's dependent on where I am or where you are if you're doing cold plunges. But cold showers, ocean, ice bath, like whatever it is, I think that just like when you get in that cold water in the morning, cold showers. It's my number 1. My number 2 hot pick of the week is Post Malone. I just can't get over how much I love Post Malone. I love his music. I love him. I just, I got to make the Rockstar video with him. But I just saw him this week on TikTok playing this song, and I was just like, fuck, he's a great, great artist.
He keeps falling down, though. I'm worried about him. He keeps getting hurt on. He's putting his whole being into it, and he keeps hurting himself.
He did hurt himself. Yeah, he did. But yeah, I do love Post. Number three is Palace Skateboards did a collaboration with Gucci, and it was amazing. The collaboration was amazing. The film they made to accompany it was amazing. The social media is amazing. And I love to see these brands collaborating. I think it's like a really new, it's a pretty new thing. I love collaboration in general. So it's amazing to see it at such a high level creatively and, and the product. So shout out Gucci and Palace. War on Drugs, the band. I saw them I went to a small listening party last night, and it was amazing. They were amazing. I had never seen them live before, and that they said in the show that usually they have loads more instruments and that their setup is way bigger. I think there's like 7 members of the band.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Sounds like a war on royalties. Hey!
Yeah. They usually have a lot of instruments, so it was amazing to see them strip back, and it was amazing to experience music in a small, intimate environment. My last one, Rob Dyrdek. His Instagram and TikTok is just so informative. I think that I've been listening to him talk a lot about how he creates his perfect day, and how he's created this kind of structure of time and how he balances his time, his personal life, his business life, his sleeping. And I'm just very obsessed right now with how you can manage an amazing work life, an amazing personal life, and, your mental health. And yeah, check him out, because obviously I've seen him on his, TV shows and things like that, but his social channels are really, really informative. Hot 5 of the week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of A Social Place. I want to thank Seth Levin. I want to thank Alex Russack. If you enjoyed the show, like, follow, subscribe.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Smash it. Don't just press it. You got to smash it. Or it doesn't work right.
We have created a new channel, which is new for Ammolite Studios. We've never had one. So we're going to be posting lots of different content on all of our channels, and excited for you to see it. So like, follow, and subscribe. Alex, thanks so much.
Oh, of course.
Let's play us out. Play us out, my